There is a dark side of Hawaii. This isn't just about the Maui wildfires, because even though the fires have shown the serious aspects of life in Hawaii, there are many other factors that show that this state is becoming more and more like a third world country for rich tourists. Rather, a true state of the America. Please do subscribe to my channel. Here, we discuss the latest breaking news on the United States and the current state of our economy. Hawaii is often perceived as a tropical paradise with its lush landscapes, pristine beaches, and vibrant culture. However, beneath the picture postcard exterior lies a more nuanced reality. In this video, we will delve into the less explored aspects of Hawaii, shedding light on its dark side. Hawaii faces a range of environmental challenges. The increasing number of tourists contributes to overpopulation and resource depletion, putting a strain on the delicate ecosystems. The degradation of coral reefs, loss of native plants, and water pollution are major concerns. Additionally, the reliance on important goods results in excessive waste and carbon emissions due to shipping, further contributing to environmental harm. And the continuation of environmental harm has led to many natural disasters. The recent Maui wildfires serve as a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature and the challenges faced by communities in the face of such disasters. The complex interplay of natural and human factors underscores the need for proactive measures to prevent wildfires and mitigate their impact. The impact of the Maui wildfires was far-reaching, affecting both natural ecosystems and local communities. The wildfire destroyed thousands of homes and historic buildings. The flames threatened many residents and their properties, forcing evacuations and causing immense distress, posing health risks to vulnerable individuals, especially those with respiratory conditions. The response to the Maui wildfires showcased the coordinated efforts of firefighters, first responders, and local agencies. Evacuation procedures were put in place to ensure the safety of residents, and emergency shelters were established to provide refuge. Aerial fighting techniques were employed to contain the flames and prevent further damage from this devastating event. Several lessons can be gleaned. First, the importance of investing in fire prevention measures and maintaining clear zones around vulnerable areas cannot be understated. Second, education and public awareness campaigns are crucial to inform both tourists and locals about fire safety practices. Lastly, the need for a robust and adaptable emergency response system that involves local communities and government agencies. Sadly, the death toll of this disaster is about 115. Lahaina, Maui, now resembles a lunar landscape, a black space between the blue sea and the Green Mountain. But in the luxury tourism part of the area, the island of Maui, in particular, is sold in movies and tourist brochures and as a tropical landscape. However, the Lahaina disaster, which has left thousands of people homeless and an unknown number of people missing, has exposed the serious problems that lie beneath this idyllic image. The signs of the disaster start to become visible long before you reach the center of town. There are tents on the beaches, where some of the displaced families have sought refuge. There are burned vehicles, police vehicles blocking access. There are burned cars and police vehicles blocking access. And at the entrance to Lahaina, there is a large And at the entrance to Lahaina, there is a large There is a large aid distribution center in the parking lot of a strip mall, where lines of vehicles have displaced residents receive food assistance, diapers, and toiletries. There are many warnings from the members of the local community about potential speculators that want to acquire the land in an area that attracts tourists. That fear of gentrification touches a very sensitive nerve with the indigenous population. Plantations, which were unable to compete with cheaper products grown in other countries, eventually gave way to tourism at the end of the 20th century. This new sector became the great engine of the Hawaiian economy. Today, 80% of Maui's annual wealth comes from visitors from outside the island. Hotels, apartment buildings, and homes were built to meet the demand of continental American visitors and investors who were eager for second or third homes. This process was exacerbated during the crisis, when lockdowns and remote work suddenly made working from the beach an attractive and feasible option. Since 2019, the value of a square foot of property in Maui has gone up by 35%, as in other places where tourism dominates the economy. The local population finds itself pushed aside and pushed out. While tourism brings revenue to Hawaii, it also exacerbates economic disparities. The influx of wealthy tourists contrasts starkly with the local population's struggles, especially among Native Hawaiians and other marginalized communities. The high cost of living, driven by the demand from tourists and the expensive importation of goods, creates an affordable housing crisis. The high cost of living, driven by the demand from tourists and the expensive importation of goods, creates an affordable housing crisis and economic inequality. The traditional Hawaiian way of life, deeply connected to the land and sea, has been disrupted by the urbanization and the tourist industry. But the growing pains are all too obvious to its local residents. After 3 decades of economic growth and prosperity, Hawaii took a downturn 15 years ago, and the Aloha state has never fully recovered. The effects have been devastating to those living on the margins of island society, especially Native Hawaiians. However, at the same time, many hotels and other big businesses in Hawaii are reaping record-level profits today. Despite higher profits for many businesses, jobs are scarce, and most of the available work pays minimum wage or close to it. In some cases, the lives of the working poor are worse than the unemployed. Even during the height of the hotel building boom in the 1980s, workers on the Big Island were forced to sleep in their cars or public parks because they could not afford the high rents or hotel pay. Hawaii's dark side, often overshadowed by its picturesque imagery, reveals a more complex and challenging reality. Acknowledging and addressing these issues is crucial for ensuring a sustainable and respectful relationship between Hawaii, its residents, and the visitors who are drawn to its shores. Only through responsible tourism, cultural sensitivity, and community-based initiatives can Hawaii navigate the balance between its appeal and the darker aspects that need attention.